Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, and this is your New Eden news for October 2nd, YC124. Diplomatic and market turmoil across New Eden following activation of Turnur Stellar Transmuter. Turnur Stellar Transmuter activation causes diplomatic crisis amidst interstellar outrage. YellowCladKing Genesis. Hopes are fading for a diplomatic resolution to the controversy and conflict over the Imperial prototype stellar transmuter in the Amarr-Minmatar warzone, as interstellar outrage over the activation of the Turnur transmuter has been echoed by hardening diplomatic postures among all of the core empires. For its part, the Amarr Empire's Ministry of War has reiterated its position, first set out by Captain Marshal Zerdan Sirkosh, that the Empire has, quote, sovereign right to exploit all resources within territories held under the provision of the Concord Emergency Militia War Powers Act of YC110, end quote. Under this hotly contested interpretation of the controversial and much criticized War Powers Act, the Amarr Empire has often made claims ranging from asserting mineral rights to the right to take slaves from populations, quote, resisting in occupied territories. Royal Heir Hamadeh Kador is Imperial Delegate to the Concord Inner Council, but has issued no statement as the Imperial Privy Council continues to meet with the Empress Katniss I at the Imperial city of Dam Torsad in Amarr Prime. The Minmatar Republic has repudiated the claims of the Amarr Empire, with Ambassador Kaitan Yun declaring the activation of the Turnur Stellar Transmuter as a, quote, criminal act carried out by terrorist state run by gangsters and pirates, end quote. The Republic delegate to the Inner Council further vowed that all Amarr taking part in the Imperial Prototype Stellar Transmuter project would, quote, be marked as criminals and hunted for all time with every means at our disposal, end quote. The Tribal Council of Matar has summoned an emergency meeting by Samatar Malatu Shakur shortly after the activation, with the Samatar issuing emergency mobilization orders to all Republic Fleet, Regional Territorial Guards, and Tribal Militias. The Caldari state's reaction to the events has been muted, but has been notably lacking in clear support for the Amarr Empire's actions. Chairman Akimaka Saraki expressed his, quote, profound disquiet and concern at the development, end quote, when pressed in a session on the state's economic performance with financial journalists, but would say no more. Speaking at a meeting of worker representatives and executives, the Hasiota CEO, Atonin Osman, went so far as to state his belief that the Amarr action is, quote, precipitate and destabilizes the interstellar order, end quote, but stopped short of commentating on the Caldari alliance with the Amarr Empire. Lidai CEO, Alakoni Ishanoa, expressed her support for the, quote, clearly correct resource rights interpretation the Empire has with the Militia War Powers Act, end quote, but would not be drawn on if that considers manipulation of stars in inhabited systems. The Gallente Federation has been forthright in condemning the stellar transmuter activation, with Ambassador Devin Malatate harshly criticizing the Empire's, quote, reckless and wholly illegal experimentation with Triglavian technology in occupied territory, threatening millions, perhaps billions, of innocents in the process, end quote. While the Federation's current military and diplomatic focus is clearly on the developing situation in the Othanun system, President Celis Agard has ordered the Federation Navy squadrons patrolling the borders with the Empire and Republic be placed on the highest alert level. Interbus future uncertain after Empire representatives walk out. Orape Genesis. An extraordinary meeting of the Interbus board ended in chaos today as representatives of all four founding interstellar empires walked out of the session at the Interbus Arcology on Orape 4. The meeting was hastily scheduled following a report that the Imperial prototype stellar transmuter built in Turnur had become active, with fears that those in Egmar and Vard would soon follow. The meeting took place behind closed doors, but according to Interbus insiders, the session ended without resolution of any of the points at issue. The Empire representatives present were completely unable to agree on how New Eden's most popular transport and delivery network should respond to the alarming and divisive news from the Amarr-Minmatar warzone. Founded in YC72, the Interbus Corporation is a joint venture between the Amarr Empire, Caldari State, Gallente Federation, and Minmatar Republic. In the past, the organization has been praised as an example of peaceful cooperation between the Big Four empires. Interbus itself is directly owned by the core empires, and is overseen by a board including Empire representatives. Interbus's mission is to maintain strict neutrality and impartially provide transport and delivery services essential to cluster-wide trade and economic infrastructure. Many now fear that rising tensions and the prospect of sanctions or closed borders could make it impossible for Interbus to operate those services across the empires. Interbus CEO Hakaka Pukara has responded to these fears in a post-meeting press release. Quote, "Freedom of movement and open access to commodities, products, and services are at the heart of a stable New Eden. Despite their disagreements, all 4 founding member states understand the importance of protecting these freedoms. I have no doubt that we will be able to find a mutually acceptable compromise that allows the continued operation of Interbus essential services, no matter else the future holds." End quote. With reported military buildups of Caldari and Gallente forces, increased Minmatar agitation for action, and the controversial actions of the Amar, many consider the future uncertain. According to reliable sources high in the Interbus administration, Pukara's words have done little to assuage fears that future conflict will make it impossible for the organization to operate. It seems that only time will tell what lies in store for this institution and its essential services. In other news, core empires increase availability of naval ship designs to loyalist militias, trading new designs with Capsuleer fighters in war zones. SCC warns of future market volatility as conflicts between empires disrupt shipping routes and increase demand for industrial resources. Concerns grow for scattered and hidden nomad miner populations of Turnur 2 as Amar forces occupy Sol spaceport. Fears of activation of Egmar and Vard transmuters causes paralysis and chaos in Egmar 6 and Vard 7. Panic spreads on inhabited worlds of Egmar and Vard as continued Amar control of systems blocks efforts to leave. Federation Senate condemns the Amar Empire and Caldari state for, quote, gross acts of militarism and imperialism in the war zones, end quote. Federation Navy issues general notice of civilian orbital infrastructure in Placid region to prepare for inspections and military expropriations. Peace demonstrations across the Gallente Federation protest Amar imperialism and urge Federation restraints towards Caldari state. Federation and state rebuff Edencom's efforts to mediate over Othanoon as gate building raises new questions over Triglavian bases. Chief Executive Panel agrees increase in megacorporation allocation to state military and extends naval building and refitting program. Khanid Kingdom increases shipments of raw materials from Khanid and Iridia regions to industrial centers of the Amar Empire. Royal Khanid Navy reports large decrease in Blood Raider and other cult activities in years since post-Chakade purges and anti-terror operations. Hematar Fleet reinforces border defense groups along Hematar Derelict border and commits 5 penal battalions to improvement of Kenobanala fortifications. Garissus pirates raid Caldari Navy convoys moving through Ardorone and Odamia, reportedly seize large quantities of machine tools and nitrogen isotope fuel cells. Serpentis accused of smuggling massive amounts of military-grade performance-enhancing boosters into Placid by Military Police Directorate. Sauntius Nation incursion in Alsa-Bolzior constellation causes widespread panic amongst populations swollen with refugees from Placid Warzone. Remains of Angel Cartel cell in Syndicate reportedly found in kennels of Slaverhound Fight Club on Thucker Station in EZA Tech FM system. And that is it for your New Eden news for today. I have been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and until next time, I'll see you in space.